height, Rome was the most powerful empire the world had ever seen. From the deserts of Egypt to the forests of Britain, from the Atlantic shores of Spain to the banks of the Euphrates, the Roman Empire stretched across 3 continents. Its legions marched unbeaten, its laws shaped civilization, and its culture spread far beyond its borders. To the people of the ancient world, Rome seemed eternal. And yet Rome fell. By the year 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire was gone, its emperor dethroned, its cities in ruins, its authority shattered. How did the greatest empire collapse? The answer lies in a tale of ambition, corruption, invasion, and decline that spans centuries. Rome's downfall was not sudden. It was the result of long, gradual weaknesses that hollowed the empire from within. Even as its armies won battles, cracks appeared. The vast size of the empire made it difficult to govern. Emperors relied on governors, generals, and local rulers who were often corrupt or ambitious. Communication across such distances was slow, and unity became fragile. Economically, Rome relied heavily on conquest. New lands meant new wealth, slaves, and resources. But when expansion slowed, the empire struggled. Heavy taxes burdened farmers, trade routes became insecure, and inflation weakened the currency. The once wealthy heart of Rome began to suffer poverty and unrest. One of the greatest causes of Rome's fall was political instability. Emperors came and went with alarming speed. Between 235 and 284 AD, Rome had more than 20 emperors, most assassinated or overthrown. Loyalty to the empire gave way to loyalty to generals or personal ambition. Civil wars became common, weakening Rome's ability to defend itself from outside threats. Corruption spread in government. Officials sold offices to the highest bidder. Soldiers demanded higher pay, and emperors bankrupted the treasury to buy their loyalty. Trust in the empire's leadership began to erode. While Rome tore itself apart internally, new threats pressed in from outside. Germanic tribes, the Visigoths, Vandals, Ostrogoths, and Franks, were migrating into Roman territory, pushed by hunger and fear of the Huns advancing from the east. At first, Rome absorbed these groups as allies or settlers, but mistreatment and broken promises turned allies into enemies. In 378 AD, the Visigoths defeated a Roman army at the Battle of Adrianople, killing Emperor Valens. This shock proved that Rome was no longer invincible. In 285 AD, Emperor Diocletian divided the empire into eastern and western halves to make it more manageable. While the Eastern Roman Empire, later called the Byzantine Empire, thrived in Constantinople, the Western Roman Empire grew weaker. The East was richer, with strong trade routes and defensible borders. The West, however, was poorer, more rural, and constantly exposed to invasions. As resources shifted eastward, the West became increasingly vulnerable. The unthinkable happened in 410 AD. The Visigoth king Alaric marched into Rome itself. For 3 days, his soldiers looted the city that had once ruled the known world. Though Rome had been sacked before in its early history, this was different. It symbolized the empire's vulnerability and decline. Later, in 455 AD, the Vandals sacked Rome again, stripping it of treasures and humiliating the once mighty empire. Each sack was not just a military defeat, but a psychological blow to Roman pride and identity. As invasions increased, trade routes collapsed. Farms were abandoned, cities shrank, and famine spread. Rome's reliance on slave labor backfired as conquests dwindled. Meanwhile, the heavy burden of military spending drained resources. The empire minted more coins but reduced the silver content, causing inflation. Ordinary Romans struggled to survive, while the wealthy withdrew to private estates, further weakening the empire's unity. By the mid-5th century, the Western Roman Empire was only a shadow of its former self. Emperors were puppets, controlled by generals or foreign leaders. The final blow came in 476 AD, when the Germanic general Odoacer deposed the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus. Rome had fallen not with a single battle, but with a long collapse of institutions, armies, and faith in the empire itself. Though the Western Roman Empire fell, Rome did not vanish entirely. The Eastern Empire, centered in Constantinople, endured for another 1,000 years. Roman law, architecture, language, and culture shaped medieval Europe and still influence the modern world. Rome's fall remains one of history's greatest lessons. Even the mightiest powers can decline if weakened by division, corruption, and external pressures.